Hey everyone, it's Dr. Nic, Professor Mike with Divine Guidance Institute.
Hey guys, we got a great program for you today.
Divine Guidance. Are you listening? Yes, most people aren't. They don't even know it's 24/7 availability and it's on autopilot.
Why is that? Why aren't they listening?
Well, heck, they don't know about it. That's really the deal. They don't know about it. So that's why we're here. This is our mission, is Divine Guidance. That's why we started Divine Guidance Institute. We realize it's a crisis. It's a tool that's available to everyone 24/7 on autopilot, and no one's using the data to avoid getting blindsided, to see around the corner, and to make every decision, like to confirm it. So you do your regular data. Then you confirm things. So what we're saying is this divine guidance is next level stuff. Welcome to a bold new era of decision making, foresight, and knowing. And you know what we've actually done? We've mechanized it. We've mechanized divine guidance, the process, whether you want to call it how to hear the voice of God, how to talk to Holy Spirit, divine guidance in its fullest. Also, it doesn't matter, if they call it their higher self or the universe, or God, or Holy Spirit. Like your faith, one's faith, or lack thereof doesn't even matter.
So you're saying it doesn't matter whatsoever whether you're Christian, Buddhist, Muslim,
atheist, even.
Atheist?
Of course.
Non-believers can use this?
Well, it's 24/7 autopilot because we're built that way as a human.
Right.
So none of that outer stuff matters at all. Everyone dreams, right?
Right.
Every night, even if they don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the other two tools?
Signs, coincidence, synchronicities. Who hasn't seen one, experienced one? And intuition, your gut feeling. Who hasn't had a gut feeling? And today we're going to refer to that as the little voice that whispers to us, that whispering voice, and how to listen. So we have access to that phenomenal system, like Nicole says, that's within us, and it's 24/7. We've mechanized it for you. We've mechanized the inner voice, so it's constantly flowing, and all you need to do is listen, and that's what we're going to talk about today, listening.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Shoot, it's gone. It's gone. Wow. We're going to give you a couple techniques and a couple stories so you really get the feel. So clients driving down the street, and the street sweepers, the street sweeper cleaners. Yes, that was in front of him about 10 feet from the corner, blocking him. And then later that day, it was blocking. Same street sweeper. It's like the guy can't get away from the street sweeper. What's the message? Keeping his side of the street clean. Yes, it's an interactive universe at a quantum physics level, really. Not a quantum physics, everything. And everything vibrates at a certain rate and frequency. So what are we talking about? We're talking about communicating with the building blocks of the universe. Literally, this communication goes on 24/7, and it's built in, like we said, and it's on autopilot, and it's for us. Someone else sees the street sweeper. They don't even know there's a message there. Okay. So it's about us interacting with the universe at this higher level. That's what we're talking about. Let me give you a few more examples. The gummy bears. And some of these, I've already mentioned these stories prior, but it's to really bring the point home. The gummy bears. I was at the airport, and this is years ago, but I was totally digging gummy bears, right? And at the airport, at the ticketing, before you go back where there's restaurants and stuff, out here at the ticketing, and I'm rolling my luggage, and all of a sudden my luggage gets caught, and I look on the ground, and it's an empty gummy bear bag in the middle of the ticketing on the floor in the airport. And so the message is the gummy bears are keeping you stuck, Nicole. At a spiritual level, the gummy bears are keeping you stuck. And yes, actually, that's why diet is so important, because your diet, having a clean diet, helps clarity so you can hear the voice of your higher self or God. I mean, all these things are connected. And as we roll, over these podcasts and things, we're going to talk about how everything's connected. Yes, your diet matters. Yes, the things you watch on TV, all these things matter, and they can interfere with that connection, the voice, hearing the voice, and accurate interpretation of the messages.
It's really quantum entanglement. And that, Nicole mentioned quantum and physics and string theory, the little strings that go they vibrate. And that's important because that's what we're talking about today. When we change the vibration, we change our reality. And that's a law. That's a physical law. When we change our vibration, we change our reality. I mean, think about it for a second. You're going out today to work or to the grocery store or to a restaurant to eat, and you have a good vibe, and everybody's saying hi to you, and things look good, and that's because of your vibration. And if we're feeling depressed or anxiety's seizing us up, the opposite occurs. We have a bad day, and that's how it works. When we change our vibration, literally, we change our outer reality, and that's how we're going to show you that through our system, you can get a snapshot of your future, knowing this, how to make decisions quickly by working with your vibrations. And it's you. You don't need the doctors. You don't need pills. You don't need therapists. You already got it. It's already occurring inside of you. It's simply how to listen, which allows you to wake up, to be in the moment.
You just totally dissed me. I'm a doctor and I do therapy.
You don't need Nicole.
You don't need me, which is why we called it Trust Yourself. Look at these book titles. Trust Yourself right here. Trust Yourself. And the Trust Yourself system right here. Trust Yourself system. Yes. Even though we have all the credentials under the sun, and even though we have lived experience big time, we've been in the trenches more than most, seriously.
And we're giving you the gold.
The gold is the trust yourself methodology, the ancient way of knowing, the trust yourself system. These are proprietary systems we have put together over 30 years for this mission for the public. When I was 24 and I met Michael and he said, and we were talking about this and I said, we're going to call it Trust Yourself and we're going to uplift humanity. And he looked at me and he thought I was nuts. You're going to do what? We're uplifting humanity? Like what? Why do we care?
Let's just have a nice life here. Let humanity take care of itself.
No. Some people are here for different reasons. Uplifting humanity. Yes. So even though, and here's the thing. It's not don't use a doctor and don't take a pill and don't do therapy. If that is what you need to do, you will be guided. The inner voice, the voice of Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, will lead you and guide you. You need to start therapy. You need to get this medication. You need to talk to Dr. Smith. Okay. So we're not excluding anything, but we're just saying to get the guidance, you don't need these outer things. You need the guidance to lead you down the path. That's the difference.
And that's why divine guidance, we say, is mechanized. The system is occurring 24/7. Already that inner voice, that divine guidance, is giving you the answer. Any question you ask, you already have the solution, the answer, the moment you ask that question. And, that's part of the question and answers. And it's ancient philosophy also. It's already contained within. It runs on autopilot. We've mechanized it for you. So really all you need to do is learn how to listen to that sound and that inner voice. And then, boom, every time you think, I wonder what, boom, you got the answer. I wonder, you got the answer. So that's the beauty of it. And how do you turn that system on? Because most people say, I don't hear jack. How do I even know there is a system? How do I turn it on? Is there a key or something like the ignition to your car? Do I get a key? Yes.
How do I get a key?
We're going to give you that key. We're going to give you that key right now.
It's an expensive fob. Okay.
What is it?
Of course, it's the hue. Okay. If you know us at all, you know it's the hue. Why? Because hue is the shortcut. I'm going to give you a demo. I'm going to give you a little background and we're going to jump back into dream science and intuition. But the hue is truly the shortcut in terms of turning the system on, activating your inner AI, activating your inner GPS. GPS is a guidance system and AI is an all intelligence based system. So truly you're activating and accessing both your GPS and your AI. And we use these terms interchangeably. Anyhow, back to it. Just say hue. Just say hue. Hue. Yes. Out loud or silent, eyes open or closed. That's the tool. It sounds silly. It sounds simple. We know. Here's the deal. It's not. And actually, the well-kept secrets of the world are simple. And even sometimes, they're thought of as silly until society becomes accustomed to these things. So did you want to
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's exactly right. The true secrets generally are never released to the masses, and you kind of know that. You're going to go, oh yeah, they lied and cheated, and they had the answer the whole time, and it's not released because if you knew the power that you truly have, that it's a mechanized system of divine guidance, all you need to do is turn it on with
Mhm.
one sound,
Yeah.
and it can't be that. Oh, yeah, it is. It is that simple. And you will feel it. You will know it. You will be it. Immediately you'll go, oh my God, I guarantee it. So there you go. And that's what we're sharing with you today.
Dream signs and intuition. I need to give you a few more stories so you get a flavor for what's going on here. It's all pervasive. Like I said, the gummy bears, okay? The street sweeper cleaner dude. Interactive universe, 24/7 autopilot. So here we go. Client, this is a story I always share. The palm tree in her front yard fell over. Boop. Now that's something bizarre, something odd. Remember, anything, a coincidence, we're talking about signs now, synchronicity, coincidence. If it's a coincidence, meaning happens two or more times, or that's the short definition of coincidence. Anyway, or it's so bizarre that something happens so bizarre it catches your attention. Okay, therein lies a message with the sign deal. So her tree, she woke up, the tree's laying in Arizona, the tree's laying on the front lawn or in the front yard. There's no lawn in Arizona. Anyway, she's like, what do you think this is? I said, something in your life's about to be uprooted. It doesn't mean bad. It just means something's going to change. And 1 month later, her husband, he got a promotion and they were moving across the country. Boom. So if you read the signs, we call it reading the fabric. It's a much higher level. We have courses on this and things. But we're just trying to give you a flavor, right? Give you a flavor so you can kind of start being aware, like, wow. And you don't get fanatical. Like I said, it's either a coincidence or it's something bizarre, really bizarre, and it catches your attention. And because it did, there's a message for you. Okay. If it didn't catch someone else's attention, there's no message. And you don't, oh, my shoe's untied. What does that mean? No. This is practical stuff. Practical. And you track your data. You don't make life and death choices until you're really proficient and confident in the system. And it's like learning a foreign language. So it's really, really a big, big deal. Okay. So I'll cut all this out.
And for me, it was like when I met Nicole, okay, we just started dating and I walked her out to her car and her license plate had the initials of my ex-wife. So immediately it caught my attention, like, what the hell?
KRW.
Yeah, and it was like telling me, and I knew that in the moment. It was like, what? What is that? Why are the initials of my ex-wife on this license plate of Nicole? It was telling me, hey, you guys are going to end up getting married. Your whole life's going to change. You're going to take a 90-degree turn and go down a different road. And that was the message. And that's how it happens. And it even in Vietnam, I was in one area, artillery, and I switched over to the infantry within a matter of minutes. And the odds of doing that are a million to one. But I had a gut feeling and I had some signs that told me to do it. And it ended up, believe it or not, it ended up saving my life. Although everyone I was working with, all the other soldiers, Mike, you are absolutely insane. But I knew it and I did it. And it saved me. And that's how it works. The system is really, really quick and efficient.
A few more stories. I really want you guys to get a feel for this stuff. Okay. So I don't know if you've ever heard the term drop a dime. He dropped a dime on me. They're going to drop a dime. It means a surprise attack. So we're in the restaurant talking and I'm telling Michael how I feel this person. I can sense it, picking up on the vibes. There's some betrayal, some disloyalty going on with this person. And I said to Michael, when we get home, I'm going to investigate further. Then the waitress walks up and she says, you dropped this dime. I don't carry change. Okay. I don't carry coins. She says, you dropped this dime. I'm like, no. I didn't drop a dime. She's like, no, this dime is yours. The dime is yours. And she was adamant. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. And then as soon as she walked away, I said to Michael, oh my God, it's confirmation. That person is going to drop a dime on me. And sure enough, the minute I got home, there was an email. There was an actual email from a third party about this whole scenario that blew open of this person essentially dropping a dime. So interactive universe. Now we just gave you like 5 different stories of signs. Okay. Now we're going to move into dreams and intuition. We're going to give you a couple other quick techniques and we're going to wrap it. Okay. So we did signs. Michael started on intuition. So I guess we'll go there next. The minute, and you all know this story, but it's perfect. When Michael was my sociology instructor. Okay. So the students on the first day were there waiting for the teacher to come in. He walks in. He's got on his little blue jeans and his hiking boots, his blue jeans, his flannel shirt. And he walks in and he's at the chalkboard waiting for us all to be quiet. And the minute he walked in, I knew he was the one. The inner voice was actually screaming. Michael said how it whispers. It does whisper, but it's also loud as hell. So the inner voice said, you're going to marry this guy. You're going to marry this guy in a heartbeat. And I thought, what the hell? I ran home and told my roommate, Heather, I'm going to marry the guy. She thought I was nuts. So anyway, I knew to be quiet. I knew what the inner voice said. I waited till the semester ended. Then I asked Michael out. Then we had dinner. We had lunch the next day, dinner the next night. Then we were engaged in 90 days engaged and in 9 months married. So that's the inner voice. Okay. Intuition. Michael just mentioned his military story with his gut feeling. Okay. So it comes in real fast, right?
Yep. Extremely fast. And it comes in fast because it's already occurring 24/7. It's like you've turned on a recording and it's just flowing and it flows right through. And the question is, can I hear it? Am I listening? Am I paying attention? And the secret there simply really is staying in the moment. And when we're in the moment, we notice things and we hear things, we listen. And that's how it's different. And for me, a dream. Yeah. We talked about intuition. We talked about signs. I had a dream of meeting Nicole 3 years before I ever met her. And then she walked into my classroom. That girl, same eyes, brown eyes, blonde hair. And in the dream, she wore a purple dress. And what was she wearing one day? A purple dress. It was like, whoa.
I picked out that purple outfit just to catch as an attention grabber. Yes, I did.
And the dream flow. Those things flow. Dreams are giving us the answers and direction in divine guidance in our life. But do we remember them?
Yeah. No. They're giving us for decision making. That's why we started with welcome to a bold new era in decision making, foresight, and knowingness. All three in one. All three. People wonder about, is my deceased grandma in heaven? Is she okay? And should I move to Texas? And is this new boyfriend or this new guy I want to date, is he legit or is he full of shit or what is the deal? So this vast thing of wondering about all these areas in your life. Here's a dream. PB, we do trust yourself workshops, right? We do dream workshops and things. And the client, the person in the audience, okay? The person in the audience, failing health for years, no doctor, no blood test, could figure it out. She comes to the workshop and she says, I have this recurring dream. And in the dream, it's the letters PB for peanut butter, right? Like peanut butter. Well, Michael happens to know that that's the element symbol for lead. Lead. That was a good one, by the way. So Michael says, lead toxicity. That's what your dream message is. Your failing health is due to lead toxicity. So now she could take this data. Yep. She went to the docs, check my lead levels, please. Found out it was lead toxicity. The dream was telling her for years what was up. And again, no doctor, no test, but the dream all along. So this divine guidance is essential. And that's why we call it a crisis, because it is. And that's why we founded DGI, Divine Guidance Institute, as a nonprofit, because it's a crisis. This is a big deal. Let me give you a few stats. 800,000 people in the first 6 months of 2024, 800,000 people were given medical misdiagnosis that led to serious injury or death. 400,000 females were misdiagnosed with breast cancer. Now that's separate from the 800,000, okay? $3.4 billion scamming the elderly, okay? 81% of the online profiles are false. So when you're doing your apps and your online dating and all this, it's all false. 80% is false. You need to know about this stuff. Like, you need to be able to identify this stuff. That's bullshit. This is true. I should go forward here. This is a scam. blah, 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 blah.
And see, there's nowhere you can go and check that because
can't.
everybody lies, cheats, steals. All the politicians are corrupt.
This is
All you're
good.
hearing is misinformation, literally 24/7. So who do you believe? Trust yourself. That system will let you know that's bullshit, that's a lie, that I need to go this direction. And it will save your life. Like the PB story, she'd tried everything for years,
She was
and
not
it
well.
saved her life. PB, lead toxicity. She had it checked, had it corrected by the docs, and she went on with her life. So there you go.
Now here's a relationship story. Most people have trouble with relationships. A lot of successful people, there's always an area that's flawed, whether it's their health or they got burned in a business deal or a relationship issue, right? So again, the tools cover 24/7, all areas of your life on autopilot. So here's a story. You know, a lot of our clients say, oh my God, what do I do with this relationship? And so let me give you a couple quick stories on this. My client, yes, he had the dream. He just started dating the girl and he had the dream. He was taking out her garbage bags. Boop, 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 boop. Taking out the garbage. And she stops him and she says, no, I need that. I need some of that back. And that's the dream. So we're doing a session and he says, what do you think? I said, honestly, the message is telling you to cut and run, end the relationship now. Now let's back up and let me tell you how I got there. Your dream is showing you she has baggage. You, my dear client, are on the fast track. You're working with us, you're using the tools, and you are going far fast. She is not. You guys hooked up. She's not at your level. Even though you can train her on some of the stuff, ultimately she's not ready. That's why she wanted her bags back, her baggage, her garbage bags back. She's not where you are. So ultimately, you should end the relationship right now if you really relied on the data from a dream and understood how they worked in full confidence. Boom. But he wasn't ready to do that. So he didn't end the relationship. He stayed in it another month or two, and ultimately, the whole thing went south, and as we knew it would, and poof. Okay, so he added extra time, he wasted time and extra emotions and all this other stuff, only to know, like, oh my God, the dream showed me. Here's another client, hotel room, the adjoining door in a hotel room. They're doing long distance dating. Should I move there? Should you move here? Should we move somewhere else? What do you think? Where do we go? The dream. He says, what do you think about this? We say, you're supposed to end the relationship now. It's not going, it's done. Okay, now let's back up and tell you how we got there. Here's the dream. They're in a hotel with the adjoining door between two rooms. They're in the doorway. Our client walks through the door. She does not. She stands in the doorway and stands there. That's the whole dream. Here's the message. What's the message? We like to say. We've actually coined that. What's the message? Here's the message. The message is simply, she's not going to take it any further. She's not going to walk through the door. The relationship has gone as far as it can. And that's it. So, our dear client, you can end the relationship today and know that it's done. Or you could hang in there and see what happens, which is what he did. He stayed in another 6 or 9 months, only for it to end. Actually, it blew up like everything else. Yes. So
You always have a choice. It's free will.
it is free
But it's
will.
going to divine guidance is going to give you literally the direction and the solution to any problem that you have. You make the decision. You can ignore it and go forward. And then months later, you'll go, wow, I should have listened to my gut. I should have followed that dream. I should have watched the signs. That's how it works. So, are you ready? Are you really ready for the truth? And if you are, to tap into that system, like we had said earlier, we got the key to turn it on, and then you'll be good to go. It'll open that door for you. And that's the hue, which is a vibrational toning technique, a simple sound.
So yeah. Okay. So you've got some stories on dreams, signs, and intuition. 24/7, autopilot, divine guidance. You track your data, you log your data, then you track your data and you track your outcomes. Even if you're not comfortable making these decisions yet. That's why tracking data, it's part of the system that we've mechanized. There's processes in place to raise the confidence level and the assurance level in using the tools and decoding the messages. Anyhow, wanted to give you an overview, give you the hue. Again, Journal, track your data, write it down, write down what happened, write down the outcomes, and review it quarterly, because then you're going to see, oh my God, my dream showed me. Here, let me give you one more story to close on. It's another dream story, and it's about us. So we love sports cars. That's all we own. That's all we drive. Okay. Literally. Camaros, Z28s, Corvettes, Challengers, Mustangs. Okay. So our favorite is a Corvette, if you don't already know that about us. They call us the Corvette couple. Okay. Anyway. And then I do a short called Corvette Chronicles. Actually, whatever. Anyway, we had this dream. This is years ago. And we were deciding what car to buy next, blah, blah, blah. And okay, of all of those, the one is my least favorite, Mustang is my least favorite. And that's only because it sits too high off the ground, like a sedan. The other cars are, more snug. Well, Challenger's pretty high. But anyway, that's not the point. Back to dreams. Okay. So I had this dream and I totally forget about the dream. And the dream, okay, yes, I have a dream, forget, although I log everything. So then dream tracking, a year goes by and I grab a journal for the hell of it. And I'm like, I look through this to see what happened, what was prophetic, blah, blah, blah. And I see this dream and it says, turned in rental car for 5-speed black Mustang GT and blah, blah, blah. And literally a year prior, the scene was literal. We actually traded in. We drove to Hertz Rental. We swapped out the rental and jumped into our new Mustang, black GT, manual trans, blah, blah, blah. But a year prior, the dream literally laid it out. It's still in the journal because we keep the journals. So it gives you the prophetic snapshot. So my point is, that's why you track your data. Even if you're not comfortable, you're not confident, you think it's bullshit. Track your data, because then it's going to blow your mind. Then you're going to go, holy shit, this is legit. That's the place we want you at. We want you to know, KNOW, that this stuff is real. Let me give you 2 quick stories. Signs. You can set up a sign to know if this is real. My dear friend, set up a sign. I want to see 3 doves by the end of the day, if this is legit. And then we went to lunch, and in the middle of the street are 3 doves. It would not let the car go any further. Yes, that is an actual story. Another client, if this is real, he was a skeptic at our dream workshop. He said, I want to see upside down balloons. I want to see upside down balloons on my way home.
Which generally you wouldn't see upside down. What is an upside down balloon?
What is an upside down balloon?
Yeah. So he thought he was really tricking the system, and you'll never see that. And of course, it's all BS. That's where he was going.
So we get this call. This is in Phoenix, Arizona, when we lived in Phoenix. We get this call after the workshop. Oh my God. I thought it was bullshit. And I set up the sign and he sent us a picture. I saw like 15 upside down balloons. Someone must have had a birthday party, right? And the balloons had deflated. So they were hanging upside down from a tree. And as he drove home, he saw the balloons. Yes. So that confirmed for him, because he set it up, if this is real, blah, blah, blah. And real quick, is it magic? No. Here's the deal. Soul, your higher self, okay? Soul, whatever you're comfortable with, knows ahead of time what you're going to run into out here, because soul doesn't operate on a timeline. It's 24/7, full access to everything, past, present, future, simultaneously. So your higher self already knows what you're going to run into. And it tells you what sign to pick so you get the right divine guidance. So it told him, upside down balloons, blah, blah, blah. And that's how signs work. It's not magic, although it's magical, but it's not magic. It's the real deal at a quantum level. Who is it? So someone says, that miracles don't defy, come on, what's that saying? They don't defy science, just our understanding of the thing itself.
We don't understand it. That's all. It's like quantum physics. We don't really understand it. And it already says we manifest everything. Literally, we create everything that's sitting in front of us. Most people go, that's not true. I don't like any of that. Well, that's where it comes from. It's our inability to correctly understand and bring it into our life. And, just as an overview, what Nicole's saying with those stories is that it's not magic. We're only using the left side of our brain, the data and the experts and the blah, blah, blah. When we turn on the system, we get the right side of the brain, left side and right side. We get a holistic view. For a change, when I was in Vietnam, I used to be in the jungle. Where am I? Chopping through the I'd take a chopper some days and we'd go up and I'd look back and I'd go, holy shit. Overview. Was I really there? It gives me an overview. And that's what the left brain, right brain, when we turn on divine guidance system does for us. And we've got it all at that point.
Okay, so what I wanted to leave them with, oh my God, it left me. Shoot. Here it is. Never again are you going to say same shit, different day, because you're going to be so thoroughly engaged in your life. Forget scrolling and all this other bullshit. You've got so much going on for you, between you and the universe, you and God, you and your higher self. You don't have time for any of that stuff. And once you start using the data, you are so entertained. There's a quote from a couple. It says, now that, what does it say? Hold on, let me find it. It says, now that we're using her and her boyfriend, now that we're using the system, it's like we're on the same team, working together, cracking the code. That's what it says, cracking the code. So it's your ongoing game, not gaming somebody else's game, your own, this ongoing puzzle and game. It's so entertaining. And that's really the point we're bringing home.
And life will become entertaining for you. Instead of same shit, different day, it'll be like, oh my God, this is really cool. I'm really having fun. What a cosmic game this is, life. Yeah, because that's the way it should be working. That's why you need the hue. One magic word.
So the hue turns it on. Gave you the tools. We gave you some stories. We gave you a couple quick tools. Of course, this is what the Institute's about. Yes, you can work with us coaching, courses, community. We're about to really launch here shortly. We're putting the whole thing together. We're open for business, but we're really going to do a launch here probably by October. So anyway, get started using the tools. Then when you're ready, you can join the community, do a course, do coaching, do whatever you want, or do it yourself, right? That's why we wrote books. Do it yourself. Hey. Anyway, regardless of all that, you've got some tools you can get started with right away. It's exciting.
Yep.
Yes.
And, do it yourself. We just gave you the gold and the secret. You really don't even need us. So what's that about?
Trust yourself once again. So, anyway, you can always reach us, subscribe, Spotify and YouTube and Scooby-Doo. So I guess we'll wrap, huh?
We'll wrap. Professor Mike, dream on.
Aw, that's nice. Bye, guys.